Hey guys, Sandy here, and today I am up for Follow a Sketch February. I have this photo of me on an airplane in a window seat without a window, and then I pulled out some travel bits, and I have this sketch right here. So let's see what I can do. So I have this kind of sky paper. It's got this blue and cloudy kind of background to it. And I am going to go ahead and kind of cockeye it off to the side a little bit, just like it is in the sketch. I am going to map my photo out here on some khaki cardstock. I just felt like I needed something to bridge the gap between the photo and the sky, because a large part of that photo is that non-window window seat, and it kind of just floats right off into the sky and doesn't really have any kind of definition. So I definitely wanted it to be like, yes, this is the photo. I am taking some of these little pieces. I believe this came from Altenew. When I ordered something, you got it as a freebie, and I've never actually pulled it out to play with it. It's just been sitting there here on my desk, so I figured it was about time. Now this little plastic case right here has a whole bunch of travel themed and related embellishments, and I just keep those handy because you guys know I love to scrapbook airplanes, so to have this stuff just really quick and easy at my fingertips works. That would definitely be one of my suggestions to you. So say you scrapbook a lot of, I don't know, flowers. So if you're scrapbooking a lot of flowers, then I would suggest like keep your flowers at your fingertips. If you scrapbook a lot of Girl Scout, photos, keep Girl Scout stuff at your fingertips. It's just one of the only themed things that I keep separately. So I keep Christmas separately, I keep Disney separately, and I have this tiny little bit of travel embellishments right here, but I don't keep it all separate, like the papers and everything. No. Just this little embellishments. So the only thing I'm doing is going through and trying to figure out what pieces I want to use here on the layout. Now, I had these chipboard airplanes forever and a day. They're actually from American Crafts. Does anybody remember back when American Crafts, it's American Crafts Playhouse. Let's see, because I still have some of the stars. The date on this sucker is 2006. So this is a while ago. Both of these were 2006. I have Playhouse and I have Townhouse, still the little tins, or the little plastic things with the little tin cap. So this is a Brutus Monroe stencil, and you guys know I love me some Brutus Monroe. I'm just going to go ahead and take my Distress Oxide and peeled paint, and I'm just applying some of this ink and not going to the complete edge of the stencil, so that the edges are kind of faded out, as you can see here. And you might be thinking that is a really weird color to do a sunburst stencil in, especially when you're doing it on top of the blue sky. And you know what? It is a little weird, you guys. Like, it just is. If I would have thought about it, maybe I would have done it more of a literal sense and done a yellow over here, but I was thinking I had lots of green little bits and I wanted to bring in more green, so that's the way I was thinking at the time, and that's just the way it came out. So I am totally okay with it. Now the sketch does have more of vertical strips, and I do less vertical strips and more kind of layered up bits and pieces. And that's okay, because a sketch can be used in many different ways. You can take a sketch and copy it. Like, no, yes, this has a embellishment here, I'm going to put an embellishment here. This has a photo here, I'm going to put a photo here. You can do it that way. You can also use it as an inspiration, where you look at the sketch and then you just go create, which is something I tend to do. Sometimes when I'm just kind of like, I need a little bit of a starting point, a little edge, I'll just hop on, do a Google image search or a Pinterest search. And then I'll just, look at sketches for a little while and then go Scrapbook and then just create a page. And who knows what sticks in my brain and what doesn't when I do it that way, but usually I get something going, so it works. And then there is the sketch where you can just use a piece of it. Say you really like one portion of a sketch, but you're not too keen on maybe the other side of it. Just use what you like. For this one, it's kind of a nod. And this is where I realize I did not adhere the stuff down. I'm working on unadhered pieces, and that's weird because I am usually someone who is a sticker downer, like a quick sticker downer. Like, I think it's going to work, so I plop it down. And sometimes I have to pop things back up, and sometimes I have to do a lot of tucking under, but that's just the way I roll. So that's just the way it is. Okay. So I'm taking these pieces and I'm trying to figure out where they should go. I'm thinking that this arrow is going to go over here. Fun fact, it doesn't stay there. Neither does that little banner thing that says "Love this view." That doesn't stay there either. I thought that was hilarious with the fact that there actually is no window seat. So that does stay on the layout. The adventure triangle does not. And the little travel banner here, that doesn't stay in that space either. I totally mix that up and change it about. But I'm really creating a bunch of embellishment right here. Like, guys, seriously, this is a bunch of embellishment. It's a lot of embellishment, but I'm okay with it because it all works together with the whole theme that I've got going on here. It's not like I've got random stuff over here like llamas and armadillos and platypus. It's not there. It's all stuff that actually makes sense with the layout. So I have this little map tab thing that came from Pretty Little Studio, so I'm just tucking that in there. And I'm thinking, okay, this big expanse of blue doesn't look that great. So, of course, me pointing at it is going to help me figure out what exactly I'm doing. And seriously, guys, it does. Pointing at it really does help me think. I don't know if it's me pointing and going, focus, 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 or what, but, something happens. So I am off to the side, flipping through some pocket page cards, and I have this one. I just trim off the edges so that I have a nice square card. So obviously it is not a 3x4 size anymore, but I do have some great lines now that I can put my journaling on. I decided to cut off the tail of that speech bubble because the speech bubble was kind of pointing off to the left and I'm off to the right here. So I was like, that makes it a little bit awkward. So this is where I moved down Love This View. And I'm just making this little layered up cluster feel a little bit more cohesive and a little bit more well placed because it's kind of all over the place. And I'm completely fine with covering up the white space that's in the photo. There is definitely enough of it still there so that you can get the fact that, hello, there is no window there. But I'm totally cool with it. Now this is where the travel banner does end up. I like it down here from the edge of the photo over to that little cluster. And I'm just trying to move stuff ever so slightly so that it fits and it looks good to me. Now I do think it is a little bit of awkwardness. That triangle, that adventure triangle, or arrow rather, is a little awkward, and that does come down. I do try to add it in later down below, but it doesn't stay. And I just knocked over a whole bunch of stuff under my desk. Okay. Sorry if you heard that big old kablooey kablammy thing. See, I tried to pull it down and then I'm like, no, this doesn't work. And I just toss it off to the side. It's like, you're not good enough for this layout. So then I'm layering up a little bit more, and this Pink Fresh tag thing says destination on it, and I just need to add a little bit more adhesive so it sticks down and doesn't, fall off the page. I'm thinking about the little fan circle thing up there, the big old embellishment I got over there. And I was like, do I really want this on this page? And then I was like, yeah, man. Yeah, I want that on that page. I like it. I like it a lot. So I tried to pull in some enamel dots and did not like any of those colors. But I did like these green plus signs from One Canoe 2. And I like the fact that they pretty much match the green elsewhere on the page as well. So I'm just popping these around because basically the only thing I have going on is paper. Like there's a lot of paper on this layout. So we're just gonna add these plus signs in, and I'm like, okay, you're gonna go right there because I have one left, and no sense of me keeping one plus sign because what the heck am I ever gonna do with one plus sign in one color? These are also some enamel dots, and I know that they're on a Pink Fresh thing, but I do combine my enamel dots when they start getting like less enamel dots than packaging, just because of space constraints. And when you have more space, you can buy more stuff. So I do try to combine my enamel dots as much as possible. And then I'm going to take one of these little triangle ones and point to the word here where it says the trip was average, great, awesome, or epic. And I said average because how can you have a awesome or epic trip when you're at a window seat without a window? So that was disappointing. So really, if there was something that said the trip was disappointing, I would have pointed to that one too. Because the actual trip was a lot of fun, but this part of it, the traveling without the window, that was not as much fun. Now, I do have these tiny word phrases from Gossamer Blue. They are old, for sure. I do pull out a couple of them and layer them up on the speech bubble that has turned into just a yellow journaling bit. And I kind of alternate them so that they aren't completely in line with each other, and they just kind of bounce back and forth a little bit. And I think that that adds a little bit more interest than if I would have just had these in a straight line down that speech bubble. So I'm just picking out words and phrases that I think would be totally appropriate. And I don't have my glasses on, so I can't read what they say on the screen while I'm doing this voiceover for you guys. I know one of them is like real life and something else. That's the only one I remember. Now I'm going to lay down some journaling, and I'm going to talk about basically how disappointed I was that I got a window seat without a window. And, it stinks because I was super excited to have a window seat because I love the window. First of all, I just love to fly. It's just something that I really enjoy. Doesn't matter, big plane, small plane, doesn't matter. I just like flying. Really, really enjoy it. And literally how disappointed I was that there was no window seat. Like, if you can't tell on the expression of my face, yeah, ridiculous amount of disappointment. Probably more than it deserved, if I'm completely honest. But, I like the window seat. So now I'm looking at this layout and I'm like, okay, it's coming together great. It is definitely a busy, lots to look at and going on, but again, no window. So you need a lot more other stuff to look at because you can't look out the window. Okay, so I decided to use these, what are these little things called? These little tiny thickers to just spell out window and it's underneath of the destination on this tag. So, I mean, you could look at it as destination window, or you could just say window. I'm just calling it window, like the title of the layout is window. And after I do that, that is going to wrap up the layout. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys again tomorrow for another Follow a Sketch February. You can check out Instagram, tag me in any posts if you are playing along with any of the sketches, because I would love to see them. And I will see you guys real soon.